And we are live. The US and Israeli strikes are happening right now above Tehran, deep in Iran. The US Air Force, the Israeli Air Force have initiated the attack operation called, I'm translating from Hebrew right now, Lion's Roar. Maybe the Americans will have their own name for this operation, but Lion's Roar have went on the way, a joint operation between Israel to the United States in the 10th day for the deadline of Donald Trump. So he gave them a deadline. On the 10th day of the deadline, they decided to go for that war. Now, from what we're seeing here, the operation was hitting targets in Iran, among them some of the regime's infrastructures and the place of the president Pezeshkian. In Iran, they're saying that Khomeini is in a safe place, but let's see some videos and talk about it, guys. What a time to be alive, watching a joint operation of the most deadliest two air force on the face of this planet, the most lethal, deadliest U.S. Air Force, Israeli Air Force right now, going around and possibly starting the end of that regime. People are saying finally here, and I agree with that. Amen. May we see a free Persia, a free Iran, free from the regime of this radical regime, free from Islam in general, and a place that people can live in peace. Let's watch some news and talk about it.
Confirmation that the U.S. is participating in these attacks. The first word that came across the wire services was that these were Israeli-only attacks, Israeli preemptive attacks against the Iranians. But the U.S., Lucas, we are told, is participating, and that's no great surprise.
No, and officials told me the same thing, John, at the start of this broadcast, that this was a combined U.S. and Israeli strike against Iran.
People are asking me about Tusi right now and saying that he's quiet. I'm going to send him a message right now. I am surprised that Tusi would not be reporting this. So just patient with me, guys. This is important. Hey, brother, wake up. I don't know what's happening right now, but I'm sure you're aware of it. Israel and America are attacking in Iran. People are asking, where are you? Wake up. Well, I don't know if he's sleeping, but you never know. You never know what's happening. I really hope he's okay. Let's get back to the report, guys. We are seeing right now some images of explosions that are happening from inside of Iran. That's one of them, for example. Breaking, Israel launched a strike against Iran, reported by Fox News. That's a big fireball. That's a big, big fireball to be seen inside a residential area. But that's the thing with these regimes. They often use their own infrastructure and people as human shield. That is literally their tactic and their way to survive, to commit the most evil crimes against humanity, and then hope that humanity will feel bad attacking them because they might hurt other people. So unfortunately for them, Israel and America have very, very strong CIA and Mossad. And on top of that also, the Mossad has been operating for a very long time deep inside Iran, and they know probably more about this regime than the regime itself. So that's what's giving Americans some of the edge. This guy. This guy. He's a funny guy. I love him. I'm just going to stop it here because the music is going to... Another video reported showing areas linked to Iran leadership office has surfaced online, drawing public attention and spiked discussions across social media platforms. Meanwhile, in Iran, this is going to be a funny one. Meanwhile, in Iran, that's what they're playing. That's what they're playing in the TV. They're basically doing propaganda videos of the Iranian regime getting to war and singing these, silly songs they like to sing there. They're so theatrical to the fault. They are actually so theatrical that even in their fall, in their end, they will still go with this cartoonish kind of videos of we're going to take down. But here, let's give you a little bit of what Donald Trump, one of the messages that he sent, I think he sent it quite early in the morning. People are saying that this preemptive attack happened because Israel saw already that Iran is getting ready for a doomsday operation, and they said, if we're down, we're going to wipe out Israel with us, everything we have, and Israel can't let this happen. So they came and they surprised them by preemptive attack and started with America, because we have right now one of the biggest aircraft carrier, I forgot the name, Joral or something, that is in Israel right now, in Haifa. We have F-22s in Israel. Some say 11, some saying even 16, ready to go. What a time to be alive, to watch this kind of operation. Let's hear
The
it.
Islamic Revolutionary Guard, the armed forces, and all of the police, I say tonight that you must lay down your weapons and have complete immunity, or in the alternative, face certain death. So, lay down your arms. You will be treated fairly with total immunity, or you will face certain death. The Iranian regime seeks to kill. The lives of courageous American heroes may be lost, and we may have casualties. That often happens in war. But we're doing this not for now. We're doing this for the future, and it is a noble mission. We pray for every service member as they selflessly risk their lives to ensure that Americans and our children will never be threatened by a nuclear-armed Iran. We ask God to protect all of our heroes in harm's way, and we trust that, with his help, the men and women of the armed forces will prevail.
Someone is saying in the comment here, Ranko Burnsnik, no Tucker on Iranian TV, not yet. Remember, guys, Tucker is one of the last resort, greatest tool for Islamic jihadists and, communist regimes. So they usually bring the Tucker card later. So let's go with that. It's going to be the Tucker card, the Young Kurds, and etc. Let's read to you some of the news. I will translate it from Hebrew. Again, this is happening right now. It started about 3 in the morning. And now I'm skipping a very dear friend's 50th birthday. They're going to hate me for that. But I decided I'm going to stay home. I'm going to report this for you because this is very important. I'm going to deal later on with my friends who would want to kill me. But I'm jumping right in and we're going to read for you. So Operation Lion's Roar went on the way on the 10th day of the deadline of Donald Trump. Israel and America are attacking together multiple targets in Iran. Some of them are the regime's infrastructures. In Iran, they're saying that Khamenei is in a safe place yet. And alarms have been launched all over Israel. I've already seen videos of some of my friends in Israel sitting in the subway and other bomb shelters and bunkers. Some of the places I was there last time with Andy and Batya, if you were following my bunkers diary when I was stuck in Israel during the last Iran war, the 12-day war, the Houthis are threatening to attack ships in the Red Sea and scorched ocean. They want to go and attack everything that moves. Trump made a threat on the people of the Islamic regime and went to the Iranian people and he says, when we are done, take your country back. These are big words that seems to indicate that maybe they are going for all or nothing. They're not trying to go right now for just a little bit. I hope that they will help finish this Islamic regime once and for all. We're getting fed up of seeing the wicked killing the innocent all across the Middle East and Asia. Some official government and security personnel saying we're going for everything. So we're going all in. Call it like that. IDF is calling for reserves already. In Israel, there was one launch that was intercepted apparently in the area of Hamakim, and in the air, some debris from that missile fell down and hit a building. But that's basically what we have right now in short about this operation. Let me show you a little bit of how does it look like, the fleet that is coming right now on the way.
Military buildup in the Middle East since 2003. Here's a list of weapons and hardware that it's sent to the region. At least a dozen.
So you got warships that are happening, about a dozen of them, aircraft carriers. It's insane. The amount of force that the United States have sent to this region is the biggest since the war in Iraq in 2003, which shows you a lot. And it looks like America did the smart thing. And instead of just rushing in unprepared, they came and they prepared. And I'll be honest, one of the best preparations you can do when it comes to Iran is to actually join force with Israel. And in some ways, even let Israel kind of lead the way or at least guide you as you go in. America doesn't need Israel to attack Iran. Let's be clear about that. But Israel is a very, very good card when it comes to efficiency and lethalness, and also ending wars very, very fast. You know, you saw what happened in the pager operation, saw what happened in 12-day war. Basically, the war was done after 4 hours, 4 days, it was completely over. And big part of the success that we're seeing right now was the last operation when Israel destroyed completely their air defenses. To give you a little bit of a prospect, what happened here, think about it that way. When Hezbollah did the dire mistake of killing the 12 Druze kids in Majd al-Shams in a soccer field on a Saturday morning, my people, the Druze. Israel went to war, took down the second commander, Hezbollah, later on took down Nasrallah, later on the Syrian regime collapsed and fell down because Hezbollah, with the pager operation, was completely dismantled. And then Israel went with the biggest airstrike ever known to destroy the biggest air force in such a short time. I'm saying the biggest as one operation, and went and destroyed completely the Syrian Air Force and the Syrian anti-air defense. That gave Israel a clear corridor. They were thinking already 3D chess, while the idiots in the Middle East were shouting Allahu Akbar and Takbir, Takbir, Jaish Muhammad Sayya'ud, and all these silly songs that they like to sing. Meanwhile, Israel was like 10 steps ahead. While they were playing backgammon with a donkey, Israel playing 3D chess with Rick and Morty on the moon. And what they did is they went and they open the corridor for Israel to launch an operation in Iran, because they have to fuel all the jets, all the airplanes. Amateurs talk tactics, professionals talk logistics. That's something that I keep saying in this channel, something that we used to say a lot when I was training in the special forces with the Americans and with the Israelis. That is the biggest difference. So as we're seeing right now, I'm going to keep you updated through this entire week. We know I was on a phone call right now with my mom and my brother and my family in Israel. And during the phone call, there was an alarm that happened in Israel, and they had to stop the call and run down to a bomb shelter. So Israel is definitely getting prepared. The people in Israel are getting prepared. America have just launched last night. If you've seen that, Mike Huckabee and others came and said, any American that is in Israel that doesn't want to stay here during the operation, during the war, now is your last chance to leave. Now, I'm sure there will be, for all of you right now who have relatives in Israel. I had a friend of mine from Germany who was just visiting in Haifa, and she sent me a message and she said, I'm sorry to call you in such notice, but I'm in Israel and I'm wondering, should I go to Jordan or should I stay in Israel? My personal humble recommendation, again, this is my recommendation, don't take it as a word of God or something, is, oh my God, Tusi just woke up. Here we go. Go live, go. Here, guys. By the way, anyone who's calling me here, thank you for letting me know. I just woke up Tusi from Tusi TV, and he is right now gonna go and start reporting it. So thank you. Whoever mentioned that here, let's see who is the guy who mentioned that said, why is Tusi not reporting this? Wait. Someone said that, and we're gonna give him credit for that. That's definitely, thank you. There's Tusi is one of the biggest channels in the world right now reporting this, and whoever gave the heads up here have probably helped a lot of people to be able to hear about it. Because here, someone said, why is your friend Tusi not here? Sarah Figaroski Kempeli. And then she asked, is he okay? And also we have Xibuli Whip. Xabulu Whip, that looks like Gollum, have came and said Tusi is quiet. So thank you guys. We just woke him up, and he is definitely probably going to give one of the best insight about what's happening, because he have a lot of contacts in the ground in Iran. I have a lot of contacts from Israel, from the security world, and from the Secret Service, including some very, very prominent Mossad figure that just retired recently. Some of them were on my show, and I'm going to try to bring them up as well in the next, maybe today or maybe tomorrow. I'm sure they're going to be very busy. They're all over the news right now in Israel and Hebrew, but I keep telling them, guys, your message is important also in English. You have to train these guys that they need to sometimes learn to speak English to the outer world and not just to the Israelis. So Home Front Command leaving the protected space. Here I have Joe Krushen from Jerusalem. He just sent me this. So you see everybody in Israel is getting right now these kind of reports. Home Front Command leaving the protected place. You can exit the protected space at across the country. He's mentioning that he's never saw this before. Very interesting. So my point was this. When I was in Israel in the last war, if you ask me, it was safer to be in Israel than actually to be in Palestine and to be in the neighboring countries around Israel, because Israel have very good bomb shelters, have very good response, some have very good indication system that actually tells you ahead of time. The launch just went out. You will get, everyone in Israel will get an alarm, their phone, Tseva Adom, and in every mobile phone, it will start, wake you up. Usually half an hour, 45 minutes, under 60 minutes before. Something is happening. The Mossad, the satellites, they saw that the launcher's operation is coming. They intercepted something. Get everybody heads up. Then half an hour before, you'll start getting some kind of a more heads up, another serious reminder. And then usually 15 to 20 minutes, you already get an indication based on the launching where the projectile, they believe it's going to land. So if it's the area of Haifa, Tel Aviv, so start narrowing down. And then about 5 minutes or 7 minutes before, you'll get a very direct message. If you're in that area, go to bomb shelters now. Before that, I'll tell you, start making your way to a bomb shelter, or at least familiarize yourself. And then usually a minute before, you'll get the final alarm. Imminent landing is coming with a direct, very accurate location where it's going to happen. By that time, you should be in a bomb shelter. And then you will know when it's over. So that kind of defense system, on top of the Chetz and on top of the Iron Dome and the Kela David and the Iron Beam and all the other cool stuff, Star Trek stuff that Israel have, whatever managed to cross and land, and the Air Force that is defending. And by the way, also the allies of Israel and enemies of Iran help intercept. And not only because it's helping Israel, but because it's also probably the best training they can give their guys, having their fighter jets right now chasing drones or not so fast cruising missiles that they can go around and shoot them. That might be the best practice they're going to get, in their entire military career. So it's also good for them. And they go, and it's bad for the Iranians. So if you ask me, if you're in the area of Israel and if you can leave to Europe or back to the US, do that. That's probably good advice. I'm sure they're going to start having shuttles soon. And, maybe soon, once the airspace open, they're going to have evacuation, different embassies and etc. So be in touch with your embassies. But to go to Jordan, Egypt, Lebanon, or Palestine is probably an ill-advised, because they have no way to defend themselves. And usually the Iranians, they don't aim very well and they don't care. Last time, the last war, there were more Palestinians dead at the beginning of the war than actually Israelis, because they ended up landing their rockets on Palestine. Same with Hamas. So yeah, my friend here, Joe, is saying something very interesting. He says, never saw this before. We must have knocked out their launch capability. If so, this is huge. Don't want to speak too soon. That's based on this picture that we shared right now, showing that this is space, leaving the protected space. Interesting. So yeah, to remind you guys, stay calm. If you're living in Israel or in that area right now, whenever you have the chance, I hope you did this before. I did it before. I went, bunker shopping. I went and I checked different kind of bunkers, shelters around the neighborhood in Tel Aviv with Andy and Batya. And also after we found one that was very close, we did a few test runs where we ran there from our bed, jumped have the shoes ready by the door, have a backpack with water, with a flashlight, with a power bank, first aid kit. If you have, that is very, very important, these things. Just have it ready by the door. If it's winter time, winter clothes, and etc. If you have any medical condition, asthma or other insulin that you need to take, have the inhalers, have everything that you need with you in case you end up staying in a prolonged time in a bomb shelter. Or God forbid you went down and something happened and the road back to your house is right now blocked, panic attack, or God forbid you got hurt and then you end up being taken, you're unconscious, you go to the hospital. So by the time they wake up, you want to have these things next to you. So have it by the door, guys. Have the shoes by the door, the socks, everything is ready. Most Israelis have mini bomb shelters in their house. I know the recommendation does say to go to a designated big bomb shelter, and usually they have it all across the city and very available for the citizens. So I would recommend, don't count on the ones in the house. Count on the ones that you have, the designated, that are really deep under the ground. Someone is asking, is it tether? So Joe here, I don't know, Joe, are you watching the show? Because you're sending me messages here. If you are, he's asking which tether, which channel is this? It says Tzofar here. Tzofar. Do you know Tzofar, Shai Gadol? Tzofar. Yes, happy Purim, everyone. Happy Purim. Again, big news. What a time to be alive, watching history unfold in the last few months. It's just unbelievable. Last year or two, things that we've been seeing. The attack on Iran, as they called it in Israel, like I read it before, a lion's roar. That is the name that Israel gave that attack. Have started. Joint forces between the U.S. and the Israeli Air Force military joint operation between the Secret Service and I'm pretty sure also the Special Forces. Man, I gotta admit, guys, as someone who was in the Special Forces, I'm a bit jealous. Anyone around the world right now that is a military personnel or Special Forces who went and enlisted and gave an oath to defend its own country and its people and to fight the wickedness around the world is a little bit jealous right now, not being able to take part in such operations, especially such a noble operation to go and free and liberate the people of Iran. Persia, what a time to be alive. What a bad news for the enemies of Israel and America. You don't want the Israeli Air Force. You don't want the Israeli Air Force. You don't want the Israeli Air Force and the American Air Force to be joining power and going to hunt you down. These are two of the deadliest, most lethal Air Force on the face of this planet in so many ways and aspect, in velocity, in strength, in technology, in efficiency, in deadliness. It's, my God. And then you have also the CIA and the Mossad working together and the Delta Force and Sayeret Matkal. This is mind-blowing. This is like literally Avengers assemble on the Middle East happening in front of our eyes. I'm going to keep you updated as much as I can. My name is Mansour. I'm a former Israeli Special Forces officer, and I'm reporting to you right now from Germany. I sounded like Clark Kent, saying that. That was pretty cool. I'm not used to say these things. So I'm going to try to report for you guys and give you the best news that I can, and I'm going to also try to bring some very interesting guests for you during the weekend. Yes, Carlson, Monty, Carlos, your family before yesterday. I was in a meeting with a big group of evangelics who was supposed to head to Israel today. Well, I'm glad that they weren't able to head. I mean, it's a pretty interesting time to be in Israel, but probably they have better times where they can go and travel because now they'll be spending their time running to bomb shelters. But we do appreciate all the prayers, Carlos, and anyone here for Israel, for the Iranian people, for the armed forces. Let me see, is that the video that I want to show you? No, that's not the one. I want to show you a video of how does it look like. It's a crazy one. It's a crazy one, and I'm going to send it right now. How does it look like when you're trying to escape from a missile that is launched on an airplane? It's not an easy job. It's not an easy job, not an appealing job. It's going to be here. I mean, that pilot, imagine if you are that pilot right now. So that's why you have to take the air defense system. You don't want, if you're a pilot in an airplane like this right now, whoo, goodness, holy guacamole, the G-force. Now you see that the head is already kind of detached from the body. It's launching. It's so fast. And that airplane managed to evade that. Wow. But just imagine the pilot in that airplane, the level of concentration, the level of being focused, being keen, and also the G-force that you're going, and the stress and the panic and everything. I mean, you don't have time to think about that, but this might be the last moments of your life, very likely. So you saw this? No, that's not, I don't think that's ours. I don't think that's ours, guys. But let me show you that again, because that just gives you an illustration of how does it look like. So he's already launching these flares to kind of detach and try to get the missiles from locking on it, and it worked. The missile got confused. You see, it's way faster, but now, see, that's the head. The head will detached now and it's going. Usually in that moment, the airplane is done. Bomb. Bomb. What a crazy situation. So these, well, not necessarily this, but that's what our brave pilots, men and female, that are right now risking their life flying over Iran. And that's why we need all the special forces and the Mossad and the intelligence to do what they did, to make sure that they have a clear time to go and do what needs to be done. I'm going to finish with this, guys. And it might upset a lot of people hearing this, but I think it's important. When your parents allow Islam to enter your country and radicals to take over your government, your children will die trying to break free from that oppressive regime. Anywhere around the world that is watching right now what is happening in Iran and the level of bloodshed and external intervention that needs to happen in order to free a country from the oppression had of Islamic radical regimes, Iran is the example. So New York City, Michigan, other places, Europe, London, Amsterdam, Sweden, France, Paris, all these places, Berlin. It's not a joke. It's not a joke, guys. All these activists running in the street trying to right now defend the Iranian regime, trying to defend radicals, Hamas, freedom fighters, and all things. Guys, you have no idea what kind of fire you're playing with and the danger here. Be safe. Don't let this happen to you. It is your responsibility to keep this away from your borders, away from your country, because if you don't, your children and their grandchildren and your grandchildren will pay the price. Stay safe. Happy Purim. I'm going to keep you updated as we go. And let's see if Tusi is probably going to jump right now and start doing the show. So again, thank you for anyone who helped wake him up. What a legend. Stay safe. See you next time. And don't do anything stupid. Happy Purim, everyone. What a crazy moment. What a crazy moment that during the time of Purim, Israel and America, the people of the Bible, let's call it that way, the Jews and the Christians, are the ones to actually help liberate the Persian people. Remember when the Persians were the ones to actually help liberate the Jews and give them a chance to rebuild their temple. And they've been saying that all the time. We helped you back then, help us now, please. Wow. We're witnessing history in the making. 1,000 years from now, 500, if planet Earth will still be around, and they'll be teaching about that history. They'll teach about the times where the Jews were oppressed and about to be killed and massacred and exiled. And then a Persian king came and sent them back. Darvish, I think was his name. And then he went and he liberated them and told them, go and build your temple. And they went and built their temple. And now, more than 2,000 years later, the people of Israel are back in their land. And they remember that promise to that king, that Persian king. And they went to fight and help with the Americans, with the Christians, the brave, strong Christians that still are morally on the right side of the fence. They went and fought to liberate the kingdom of Persia again. Cyrus, yes. What's gonna happen after? It's gonna be a very interesting story. I'm gonna try to do whatever I can to give you the best updated. Probably I'll do maybe 1 or 2 more updates today, and we'll try to bring you some guests. Stay safe. Don't do anything stupid. See you next time.